Today I will be presenting a kycoo Warrior Toolbox deck profile. This deck is quite budget on the side for GOAT format. You can build it with a higher end or a lesser end budget. Most of the cards are under $1 for a few exception of a few cards. We play around the fact that our opponent plays a lot of chaos, and since I have told it before, this is meant for single two best 2 out of 3 matches without siding. So we were playing a bit of a weird gimmick type of deck. So we're starting off with our main sake of the deck name, Triple Kycoo, the Ghost Destroyer. We used 3 copies of him so we can retain our opponent from special summoning the Chaos monsters, and also we can eat his graveyard up. That way they don't have light or dark monsters. He is also one of our best normal summons in deck that is insearchable. We will have some cases where we don't really want to summon him and we would prefer something else, but you can cut him off if you really don't enjoy him and just add a few more warriors or some tribute or flip monsters if you really like them like that. You could also cite him if you want to build a more pure warrior deck profile. But this is the best way I can run, or I consider to run, the warrior toolbox, unless you have Smoke Thief of the equipment to equip to Gear Freed. The other monster we run, our first warrior, is Blade Knight. Play with 2 Blade Knight. You could replace this with Mystic Swordsman level 2, I think it was. He is our main beater, our main warrior we can actually run, and he has 2k. He can beat over almost anything. Back in locals, this is the card that can get over Power Shaft and most of anything on the deck. We play our win more card, Don Salug. We usually will only use him when we're on a winning state, so we can remove cards from our opponent's hand. And with that, we also run one Marauding Captain. We know that Marauding Captain isn't that great, but he can be the one card that you will search for a pushing game. This is the main card and the only card that helps us push for a really fast game, unless we can just out-rush our opponent. After that, we have 3 removable warriors, but first up we have 1 DD Assailant. You can pump this up to 2, I just enjoy it at 1. 1 DD Warrior Lady, and 1 Exile Force. Exile Force deals with face down monsters, DD Warrior Lady helps with big monsters as well as DD Assailant. So these 2 cards usually will get rid of higher end monsters, and Exile Force will get rid of Flip. And it's mainly your first search of reinforcement of the army. It can also help you remove higher monsters, like anything from the Blackluster Soldier to anything that gets summoned off of Reasoning or Monster Gate. We play 1 Tsukuyomi. This helps us deal with certain type of monsters we can't deal with as well, and also because it helps us play around Jinzo. It's really just a gimmicky one-off that can come up a bunch. Breaker for monster removal. So you know, Breaker is just one of the best forms of spell and trap removal in Monster. After that, we play what I like to call the Tribe and Fake Virus package. We play the Virus, the Sinister Serpent to loop the Virus, and the Sangan, which searches the Virus, and a lot of more things. Not a lot to explain, just want to have this for Delinquent Duo and a lot of other ways, and also you can just use it with Tribe. We don't have a lot of discard fodder for it, but most of the time if you don't have the tribe and you are willing to use it, you will simply go through it by fogging a combat step if you're not playing the traps, or if you're just top decking. For our spells, we play 3 Book of Moon. It can help defend your monsters, and it also helps prevent the loss of the tempo. It also increases a lot of our tempo as well. For warriors, we're playing 2 reinforcement of the armies to search them, and we're also playing 2 warrior returning alive to return them from their graveyard to the hand. You can definitely cut the warrior returning alive, because it's not the greatest card, but it really comes up in the grand game. Sometimes you will bounce back the exiled force or any warrior that's in the graveyard. Plus, it's just another warrior from the graveyard. We have two noblemen of the crossout to deal with those pesky flip monsters. Again, the more outs we have to them, the faster we can go. Uh, okay, let me pick this up real quick. We have for the one-offs, Graceful Charity, Pot of Greed, and Delinquent Duo. I know I said this is a budget deck list, but you can remove Delinquent Duo for anything. For example, you can trade this off for the third War Returning Alive. You can trade it for some more cards you can see in the gray and the deck profile later on. You can replace it for one DD Assailant or trade it for a second Sook or the third Blade Knight or anything else you can use in the Warrior package. But since I have it, I put it in the deck. Also, you mainly will always run this too, no matter if your deck is budget or it isn't. Heavy Storm is our mainstay, really busted card. Mystical Space Typhoon will go and remove back rows. We have Premature Burial and Snatch Steel as our equipments that we run because they help us. We're just trying to out-tempo or out-aggro our opponent, and these help to put more pressure. Premature can revive a huge monster. Well, not really in our case because we don't run huge monsters, but we can just get kycoo as a floodgate or just get any of our warrior toolbox. Snatch and Steal can help us just push for game and steal big monsters. As for traps, we're running traps that help us go faster. And if not go faster, it just helps us deal with our opponent's back row. First off, we have Triple Dust Tornado. Can help us activate our other traps as well, or set them faster. And also, Dust Tornado comes in handy a lot of times to deal with stuff like Snatch and Steal and their Premature Burial, so that helps a lot. Double Sakuretsu Armor. Again, Sakuretsu Armor helps us out-tempo our opponent. They can just summon something like BLS, and if they decide not to banish, they can just try to swing something, and we just go Saku, and that's it. We don't run 3, but you can try to remove the... or you can test out removing the Lincoln Duo if you feel like it's too expensive, and just run the third Saku. Last up is our power 1 of traps. We have Torrential. As always, it helps clear the board and it helps just deal with anything that's on our opponent's side, and it's a big blowout. Sure, a lot of people can't play around it, but it doesn't really matter when it's on a simplified game state and you just trade 1 for 1 because you have a better top deck than your opponent. If it's early game. If it's late game, well, it's really bad and you can easily lose during late game. We have Ring of Destruction to further push our opponents through game. Call of Mirror Wars and Call of the Haunted. Mirror Wars is really good. It just destroys every monster, and Call of the Haunted helps us push more. It's really similar to the zombie deck profile I did the other day, but again, most decks are really similar. The way you like to play the game is just kycoo or search anything. It's called Warrior Toolbox because you search the right tool for the right time, and you can do something about it. The reason why I said Morgan Captain is really good is because you can do something like this. Let's just say you have kycoo in the field, and these are your 2 cards in hand. You can normal Moronic Captain and special summon Blade Knight, and you just have, let's say you have no cards in hand, you have 20, 38, 60 damage for the game. Well, no, 50 damage. So mostly, if you are already out past your opponent, you can easily win the game. That's it for the deck profile. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.